This is the Apollo Pro electric scooter, and it's supposedly one of the best electric scooters on the market. And for a list price north of $3,000, it better be. You can see the current price link below the video in the description box, but do not buy the Apollo Pro electric scooter just yet. We gotta crack this thing open, take a closer look at it, then take it out for a full review and see what this thing is made of. And it's pretty easy to get out of the box. Just have to plug these handlebars in and bring the stem up. Here's how it latches on there. Seems pretty solid. And the listed weight is 93 pounds. So this is not a light electric scooter, but for as heavy as that is, it actually weighs less than some of its competition. And this one actually has a center mount kickstand. This is the first electric scooter I've seen with a center mount kickstand. And in my opinion, one of the most significant things about this electric scooter is the 12-inch tall wheels. One of the things that makes these high power electric scooters kind of sketchy is the small wheels. 12 inches on an electric scooter is actually freaking huge. The taller the wheels are, the better it is at running stuff over, including, like potholes and just anything you encounter. Also, taller wheels are better at maintaining speed, but it will kind of hurt us on the acceleration. But honestly, it is running dual 1200 watt motors. So you get one of those up front and then also another one around back. So while we're down here, I'll show you this front suspension. It is a coil shock with a rebound adjustment. It is a D&M cartridge style shock, and here's how you adjust the rebound. And it is a full suspension scooter, although there is not a coil shock on the rear. There's some sort of like rubber gasket suspension. Can't wait to try it. And the tires are self-healing apparently. So I don't know if you ever got a flat on a scooter before, but it is like really hard to get these wheels off and do repairs. So super practical feature. Other items included are a toolkit. It's a very robust toolkit. Of course, the user manual and a charger. Pretty beefy charger at that. Max charge on this battery is 58.8 volts. Charges at a rate of 4.5 amps. Now the actual battery that's down there is listed as a 52 volt, 30 amp hour battery pack, 1560 watt hours of energy with Samsung quality cells. I would sure hope so at this price point. So 30 amp hours divided by a 4.5 amp hour charge rate. So about 6.5 hours to charge that battery from completely empty to completely full. Charge port is located right here, and there is a single charge port on this. A lot of times scooters will actually come with a dual charge port. Charging with two chargers will actually decrease the lifespan of your battery charging at a fast rate. So running just one charger might take a little bit longer, but it'll prolong the life of your battery. Another unique feature about this electric scooter is it is cast from a single piece of aluminum. The website has it listed as cast aerospace grade aluminum. Apollo Aerospace. I don't know, dude. Maybe you could take this thing to space, but don't take it in the ocean. It is IP66 rated, which is a pretty good water resistance, but you can't, bring it all the way underwater. Pretty waterproof though. IP66 provides protection of high pressure water jets. So, it's like rainproof. You could wash it. The handlebars are held on with 6 bolts. And my goodness, just like everybody else said, it is shocking to feel a mechanical brake lever on a scooter of this price. Typically, you get hydraulic brake levers, but that is an actual physical mechanical brake lever. And it's drum brakes. There's not disc brakes on this thing. But I guess the reasoning behind this is to keep the maintenance down. And a huge bonus is there is a dedicated regen brake lever on this scooter. So what this does is bring the thing to a halt and put a little bit of juice back in the battery. Not a ton of juice back in the battery, but mostly it's gonna save us on brake pads and maintenance. So the actual mechanical brake lever we're probably never gonna actually even really use. So brake lever on the left and then throttle is on the right. There is a little rubber pad on these throttles and they move very easily. A feature that I would expect from a luxury hyper scooter. The grips are round and rubber. They kind of have like these, like that. Not sure if I like them or not. Then in the middle we get the quad lock to put our phone on there, and you can run this thing either on the app or they do have a built-in display here as well. Now they don't give you the quad lock case, I guess, because obviously every phone uses a different one, so you gotta get your own. But I guess once you get that on there, this thing actually has wireless charging as well for your phone. So that's pretty cool. Then we have this little latch right here that is held on with a magnet. And just to show you how that works real quick, drops on in there. And there is a little locking mechanism here, so you drop it in and it locks on there. And I'm not sure if you're supposed to be able to pick it up by this handle or not. Oh, you can though. It does weigh 93 pounds and it's rated for a passenger weight of 330 pounds. So if you haven't noticed by now, this isn't like the most, pick up and pack up in your car kind of scooter. It's got some weight to it, dude. So to give you an idea of the size of the deck, this is what a size 14 Nike shoe looks like on here. A pair of size 14 Nike shoes. So it is a nice feeling rubber deck, kind of like a medium sized deck. Center mount kickstand is nice. And then there's like this kind of thicker rubber on there you can see. So it kind of gives you like a little bit of extra anti-fatiguing kind of material, I guess you could say. So that'll be interesting to see how that feels. So we're about to fire this thing up, but first let me show you what I look like on it. I am 6'5" and hopping aboard. Definitely an adult size scooter. Handlebars come up to a good height. Oh my goodness. What was that? So handlebars come up to a good size for me. This is definitely an adult size scooter. And handlebars come back towards the rider a little bit, so it kind of like puts you in the cockpit. You're not like reaching out for the handlebars. You can definitely tell that front suspension is very linear, meaning that it gives you the same force as the travel goes down further and further. Now since the rear is not a coil shock, it's a little bit different type of suspension. Can't really feel the rear suspension that much. Not nearly as much as the front suspension. So on an electric scooter, as you're going forward, obviously that front wheel is going to be taking most of the impact anyway. So we'll see how it rides. So before we get the app or anything, let's just go ahead and turn it on and see what it looks like. Oh, so it's got a little speaker over here on the right. And right away, we get a bunch of lights. Looking like something from the future already. Display is interesting. We've seen this on other Apollo scooters. So they just have like this kind of like dot matrix kind of deal. And you get your modes here. Oh, so that's your bell. That's kind of cool. Guess you can change your bell in the app. So you get that bell as well as your physical bell. Looks like battery life is sitting at 3. You got to get that on the charger. Oh, that turns on the light. So all the lights on this scooter, tapping the power button turns on the actual headlight, which is built into the stem there, kind of pointing down. Can't change the angle of that at all, actually. It's just kind of pointed where it's pointed. But with all these lights on there, you should be very visible. Then we also get turn signals. So the turn signals go pretty hard. That's pretty cool. It lights up like the whole side there. And then in addition to that, you get this one up here as well. And that is actually really cool how it kind of like fades the signal forward like that. And it is self-canceling. And when I grab the brake lever, it lights up and flashes this brake light. And if I press the regen brake lever, it also lights up and flashes with the regen brake lever. And it also lights up the side lights as well when you press that brake lever. And since we have the center mount kickstand, we can risk getting a new skid mark on the floor. Oh no, we probably gotta take the kickstart off. The default setting on these things is usually you gotta give them a little kickstart to get it going. Oh yeah. So 1 is pretty chill. Let's double tap. Oh, that's 2. 3. We gotta get this on dual motor. So this is not my first Apollo scooters. Usually to unlock the full potential of these things, you need to use the app, pop that open. Usually pretty seamless, just click on add a new scooter. And then they're gonna troll us a little bit here. Checking motor, checking battery. There's no flux capacitor in this thing. There is no nitrous, and there is no airbags. Might not be a bad idea to have. We gotta get this thing on the charger. So you can connect it with Bluetooth. And this part could be a little confusing. You double tap the power button to change your power mode. So it's not super obvious if you've never had an Apollo scooter. And then the mode button activates the horn. Now inside the app, you can get into the basic settings and change your speed for each mode from comfort to sport. Out of the box, sport is limited to 20. We'll just bump that up to max of 80 kilometers an hour. Then you can change the sounds as well. For sounds, you have a horn, an alarm, power on, and shutdown. Let's check out the horn options. You could do hey, bicycle bell, or car horn. And then there is an alarm on this, so you can do prank theft alert.
Theft detected. Auto destruction in 3, 2, 1. Kidding. Calling the police now.
Or a siren. And a pretty interesting one here is the lights. So you can individually do deck, stem, signal, and brake. You can change the brightness. So you can change the color as well as the brightness right here. Pretty neat. And then you can independently change the stem color. So you got all the options here. And also you can do the turn signal is a different color. Signal changes just for like the sidebar, not the ones up on the handlebars. And then also you can change the brake light color. I'm gonna leave them as blue and red so I look like a police officer. So lots of cool stuff in here. You can look at the battery. You can see how many charge cycles there are, battery health, all kind of stuff. We're gonna turn the kickstart off so we can start from a stop, and cruise control. So when you turn on cruise, it'll automatically cruise after 6 seconds. And then you have advanced settings for acceleration and braking. So this is important for you speed demons. If you want to turn your acceleration all the way up, there's acceleration response that is set on 3 out of 10 out of the box. And then regen brake is set on, looks like about 5 out of 10. We'll leave that stuff on standard mode and then adjust it later. And perhaps I should mention, you know, it does say 1200 watt motors, but that is the nominal power. You can do 3000 watts peak on each of them, making for 6000 watts of peak power total on their proprietary Mach 2 controller. And it does say that front headlight is 1000 lumens, and I think you're going to be pretty seen on this thing with all these lights. Also, this electric scooter does have GPS tracking. That is kind of like a separate feature. You get this Connect Plus module, and the GPS tracking will track your scooter within 30 feet, and you get notifications if anybody's tampering with it. And there is a remote kill switch, but that's something extra. It costs 50 bucks. That's probably worth it for a scooter this much. And it costs 10 bucks a month to use that, or 100 bucks a year. I mean, pretty expensive piece of machinery we have here. But if you don't want to mess with that, they do have a lock feature on here. You can click that button, makes all those lights on the scooter turn red. And now that it's in park, oh my goodness. So it plays like the alarm noise, and it also has like a braking feature, so you can't just like, can't roll off with it easily, but well, let's just say it's theft resistance. So let's go ahead and top this battery off and take it out for a rip. It's gonna be a minute. And taking a peek under the scooter, we can see it is the Apollo Mach 2 controller. And the controller is left open and exposed like this to help dissipate the heat. I guess some of the older models of Apollo had some heating problems, so having the controller outside is actually better. So check it out, I actually got this box in the mail. Apollo sent an upgraded latching mechanism. And in this box, we also have a little rubber piece for the back of the scooter. Exclusive upgrade kit. The paper here says it has an enhanced geometry design, upgraded bolt from M8s to M10s, and a new steel alloy construction, and then also rubber pads for shock absorption and vibration. And then that's the grip tape back there we just tossed. It actually looks almost identical, but I guess this is like a stronger steel. And then there is this little rubber mechanism right here. So I'll take the old one off. Here's a bit of a closer look at them. I can't really tell a huge difference, honestly. I would say the most notable difference is the rubber piece here on the new one. And I guess there's like a bigger, thicker bolt. I wonder if this one actually weighs, it feels like it weighs more. Let's see, the original one weighs in at 10.1 ounce. The new one with the little piece of rubber on there weighs in at 10.2 ounce. So I don't know, was there an issue with the original one? Seems fine to me. Here's the original rubber piece on the back of mine, and then this new one. Looks like it basically just gives you a little extra rubber piece there on top. So what the heck, let's swap it out. Dude, the more I look at this thing, the more I see Cybertruck. Dude, I cannot get this thing to line up. Oh, there we go. And there's what it looks like when you get it on there. All right, dudes, let's check out the Apollo Pro electric scooter. So of course, we'll fire up the Strava here so we can check our official range. Check this out. It's got a little welcome sound for you there. And when you power it off, gives you that noise too. Let's throw this thing on power assist 1 and get on out of here. Oh, that's pretty cool. Lights up the floor with those brake lights. I'll check it out. We're like the police. And dude, first thing I'm noticing about this scooter is just like how visible, how bright all these lights are on this thing. I mean, this thing is bright. I'm actually gonna throw it in this dark corner over here just to kind of give you guys a better look at it there, man. In the dark, just looks cool, man. I like it. So the very first test we're gonna do on this is run it up to 20% grade. I'm just gonna put this thing on power level 2. So you double tap it to change the mode 2 and just give it a little rip here. I actually don't know if we're on single motor or dual motor, but this kind of gives you just like a fraction of the power and obviously can bring us up. Do the regen brake works when you grab the levers? No, I don't think so. So you have to use the dedicated regen brake. Yeah, there we go. And we'll go ahead and double tap that again, put it on 3. And give it a bit of juice here. Oh yeah, we're on dual motor. The front motor spun there. So plenty of hill climbing power here, and we'll dial it up here in just a bit too. So operating these venues is kind of like a little bit of like putting a cheat code into like a game or something. And number one here, before we get in there and adjust any of the settings, is like extremely slow. So we just got to go straight to 2 by double tapping it. Double tap 2, there we go. So it says 2. And this display, this little dot matrix thing is actually super visible out here in the bright light. But even on 2, we're gonna have to get into settings here because this thing is just dialed down way too much for my liking. So let's connect up that app real quick. We got to get those units on over to Imperial. And now in here is where you can change, you know, your comfort mode speed and all that. I'm just gonna bump comfort on up to, oh, I don't know, 20 seems reasonable. And then sport, we'll just put it at 50, which is the max. And Eco 4 is just way too slow. I don't know, maybe like 15. So pretty cool that you can get in here and change that stuff. Pretty practical feature. So we'll try this, and then we'll get into the advanced acceleration and braking settings here. We are on the stock settings is 3 out of 10 for acceleration response and 5 out of 10 for regen brake. We'll modify that in a minute, but let's just get on it here. Double tap to change into 1. So you have 1, 2, 3, and then you triple press this to get into Ludo mode, which is apparently like the fastest of the fastest. So let's get on out of here. So it says, yeah, now it'll take us up to 15, pretty chill, nice, comfortable, you know, user-friendly. So with these settings, you know, it just feels like a nice riding scooter. Actually feels like it handles pretty well. Let's double tap that, put it on to 3, and all right, now we have a little more juice, but the power delivery is still only 3 out of 10, but yeah, man, it feels like it's gonna be pretty powerful. But for, you know, everyday practicality, probably leaving this on like 3 out of 10 is like, you know, you can like mash the throttle and it's not crazy. I just stopped and grabbed my cell phone mount. I just can't get over these reflecting lights. And real quick to give you an acceleration of what it's like on the out-of-the-box settings of acceleration, 3 out of 10. Here's what we're looking like. You just smash on that throttle. The power, you know, ramps on slowly in a controlled manner. And yeah, more so than the power delivery right now. The first thing I'm really noticing about this scooter is how smooth it feels. And I think it's largely due to those 12-inch tires on there. Like, this scooter has massive tires compared to everything else I've ridden. And usually, you know, on scooters, like one of the things that makes it feel so sketchy, I think, is the tires are just so tiny. So like every little imperfection in the road you run over usually is like magnified so much more for every inch smaller the tires are. So this one, it feels like smooth, man. Now there is one more mode beyond 3. You have to triple tap this button actually to go to Ludo mode. So it's 1, 2, 3. All right, so it says Ludo on there. So now let's see what it can do. This is still acceleration 3 out of 10 on Ludo mode. So ready, go. So yeah, still eases on the power. Obviously we're only like 30% of max acceleration, but I mean, this is like honestly already like as fast as you really want to go on an electric scooter, I feel. And we're gonna take the sidewalk here for a moment before we unlock everything. So there's no steering damper or anything on this, but I do feel fine, you know, taking a hand up. Oh gosh, we got a little bit of water. Oh, I felt the tires slide a little bit there actually. So these are street tires. Oh yeah, I can feel that water. So we are rolling on street tires, and oh gosh, a little bump, little bump. Oh, that was actually fine. I thought that was gonna be so harsh. So we have that coil shock on the front and then like the rubber shock on the rear. And going around a turn, you know, one thing with dual motor scooters is going around turns, sometimes the acceleration on the front wheel will just be so ridiculous it'll basically spin out that front tire. Oh yeah, well, you got the regen brake, feeling good. So this one, you know, you can just kind of, even on Ludo mode, that front tire is starting to spin a little bit going around the turn, but it's nice that you can dial down the acceleration, because honestly, a lot of times it's just way too much to be usable power on some of these expensive hyper luxury scooters. So honestly, I mean, I just feel like these stock settings are fine, but we'll dial it up here in a little bit. Yeah, that regen brake lever is nice too, man. We'll crank that up, make it a little stronger, but your stock settings on this thing feels fine. Now, it is not really an off-road scooter. We do have the puncture resistant tires, the self-healing tires, and they are tubeless, so you know, they're going to be a lot more flat resistant compared to a lot of electric scooters. Ground clearance on this is fine. I'm just gonna hop off there. This isn't really meant for off-roading, but they can do it a little bit, you know. So let's pop out here. I need to unlock the settings on this thing really before riding out here, but oh, here we go. So the big tires riding out here on unfamiliar streets is like super handy because you never know when a pothole is going to be coming. We're doing fine going into headwind here, hitting, it says 41 on the onboard, 38, 39 on my GPS into headwind, and we're still not unlocked yet. And we do have turn signal. Let's go ahead and bump one of those on here and hop on in here. See if we can just take off out here in front of this car. Yeah, let's roll. Nice. Plenty of pep, even before we unlock it, really. And I do like that it does have like the noise on these signals. So like, I keep going to grab like the actual mechanical brake levers. I kind of wish, oh my goodness, look at this Ferrari, bro. That is looking clean. Nice. Yeah, I keep going to grab the mechanical brake levers. I kind of wish the mechanical brake levers would activate the regen brake, just if you pull them in a little bit. So I need to get used to using the progressive regen lever, which actually works very nicely. All the toys are out today. We got the Vanquish Aston Martin S right up here. But yeah, having the beeping noise on there, it'll remind you got your signal on so you don't accidentally leave it on. Pretty maneuverable scooter. I like the fact that this one, you know, compared to some of the other competitors in this price range, is kind of light. If you could say a 90-pound electric scooter is light. 90, 95 pounds. Looks like we got a little bit of police rolling through here. LAPD, nothing to see here. We'll do the acceleration run over here around the corner. So we're gonna get into the advanced settings here and change the acceleration from 3, acceleration response 3 out of 10, up to 10 out of 10. And then we'll dial up that regen brake later. And we'll throw it back in Ludo mode by triple tapping Ludo. I don't normally see people park there, but...
I don't either, but there's no sign. I'm gonna roll the dice today.
All right, yeah. So we are on Ludo mode and acceleration response is maxed out. Let's give it a go. Ready, go. 20, 30, 35. So is that actually fully unlocked? I'm not sure. It delivered the power nice and smooth and definitely brings you up to speed pretty quickly. Kind of feels like that did not unlock it all the way though, honestly. Acceleration response, 10 out of 10. All right, so it accelerates quickly, but it doesn't like spin out on you or anything. Ready, go. 10, 20, 30. Feels safe. I mean, like, I don't feel like I'm gonna like lose control of this thing, and the front wheel doesn't like spin out on you or anything. So I mean, if you're looking for, you know, like something that is like practical, high speed, that's safe, yeah, front wheel sticks pretty well there. It wasn't like spinning out even. Let's dial up that regen brake too. We'll dial the regen brake up the max as well, see how that feels. This thing feels stable, like I can have it on, you know, one hand. I'm on Ludo mode, max acceleration. The throttle response is still like fine. Like I feel like I can ride this thing and I'm not gonna crash it. Let's try that regen brake now when it's on max. All right. Yeah, well, let's leave it on max. Why not? We'll leave everything maxed out all day long. All right, we're gonna do top speed run in Ludo mode. Everything is maxed out. Regen brake acceleration response is on 10. We'll press save again just to make sure. And we are on Ludo mode. Battery's at 88%. GPS speedometer is right here. I'll tilt the camera down. Ready, go. Full throttle. So wheel does not spin out on you on the front. And 25, 30. GPS will lag just a little bit. 35, 40. 41, watch out, cars coming through. We're gonna have to get in the fast lane. 40, so it shows 44, 46 on the onboard and 44 on my GPS, 45 on my GPS. So topping out pretty respectably quick. And we're gonna press the regen brake. Whoa, that regen brake did not like kick in like right away. I feel like I was kind of freaking out there for a minute. Yeah, that regen brake from like high speed isn't quite as strong as when you're at slower speed. Yeah. So I went and pressed on the regen brake going 45 towards the back of that car, and I was like, into headwind here doing 37. So this thing feels super, super solid, very powerful. Not the fastest electric scooter I ever rode, but feels pretty like refined riding experience. And oh yeah, that regen brake, man, when you're at like high speed, it doesn't like kick in like full blast until you start like getting a little bit slower. So I'm trying to think how to describe this scooter. Like, it's fast, and I know some of my reviews, you know, like when I start hitting like those 45-mile-an-hour speed, just like, whoa, this is crazy. This one actually, it just feels like kind of more refined somehow. And I think these like larger 12-inch tires and a throttle response, like, it just doesn't feel like that sketchy when I'm going that fast. On some of these scooters that have like tiny wheels and like kind of, you know, like cheap controllers that give you like extremely like box signal kind of responses, it makes them feel like more thrilling and less safe, I would say. Like this one, I feel like I'm in control of it and it's not trying to kill me. So I guess what I'm trying to say is if you're trying to spend over $3 grand on an electric scooter that's out to kill you, this might not be the one for you. But if you're looking for something that's gonna be like safe and, you know, feels like you're in control of it, this could be a good option for you. What are the cops do? There's so many cops out here today, man. I wonder if they're like looking for Sarans out here today. I guess one thing that's nice about electric scooters is, man, these things fly under the radar. They kind of just blend in, you know, with like a Lime scooter, that sort of stuff, a Bird scooter. I guess, you know, relative to like a 40-mile-an-hour Saran that looks like an electric dirt bike. Seems like those are just getting more and more scrutiny from the law. Bro, there's so much police presence out here today. Wow. See if we get a ticket or not. It's actually kind of refreshing to be like riding around on max settings in Ludo mode and not have to be seriously concerned about pressing the throttle just the wrong way and throwing you on the ground. But you still got that power on tap. Another thing that's a little bit annoying on this scooter is you never really know what mode you're on unless you pull out the app or if you just change the mode. Lock your bike. So you just double tap that. Man, even more police out here on the bikes. And we are showing 7 out of 10 bars on the battery life right there after about 5 or 6 miles. Man, we got the Santa Monica police truck out here riding on the bike path. Check it out. If you don't want to pay $3+ grand for an electric scooter, you can always just come right down here and get one for free right here in the creek. How about that? So let's go ahead and run it up the California incline, 12% grade. It's an 85-foot climb. Rolling into the spiral section here, a lot of times these scooters struggle with getting the power down to that front wheel, especially, I mean, I'm on Ludo mode here, and I feel like, you know, I can really just control that power. It'll, like, the front wheel will spin out on me, but you gotta like really mash it. And we'll test the brakes. Oh gosh. And we'll test the brakes out here at the bottom of the California incline, but let's go ahead and mash on this throttle. So you get a little wheel spin there and it'll get you up to speed pretty quickly here. Showing 23 there, 29 I'm gonna let off. So many people out here. So definitely, you know, like a very sufficiently powerful electric scooter. Like I'm just kind of tapping on this here and yeah, a lot of people out here today. But so we are rolling on drum brakes on this bike, better than what's on that skateboard. But compared to disc brakes, they really just don't feel that great. However, we do have that regen brake. Yeah, these drum brakes, man, they're mechanical, and I guess the idea is they keep the maintenance down. So, you know, disc brakes, you're gonna have to like change them and stuff, but really the big thing on this bike is, or this scooter, is we have the regen brake lever, so it's gonna really help keep the maintenance down. Looks like some people just crashed into that wall and, well, who knows what happened to them. So with regen brake on maximum, I'll show you what it's like stopping from about 30 regen. So that's max regen, but let's add a little bit of actual friction braking into that. So full throttle, a little bit of wheel spin there, 22, and then regen brake, and then touch on those drum brakes a little bit. So yeah, it'll stop you. And then a quick little run here using just the drum brakes from about 20 or so. So the drum brakes are actually stronger than the regen brake, but yeah, there's your braking. So we're gonna head on home, see what the final range is on this thing. Looks like it's sitting at about 70% or so right now. But first, let me share my final thoughts on the Apollo Pro. So I mean, all around, this feels like a really well put together scooter. Even on Ludo mode, you know, it's not, you know, the most thrilling power I've ever felt on an electric scooter, but it is like plenty sufficient to get you up to, you know, pretty much as fast as I would ever want to go on an electric scooter. And then that power delivery just really makes you feel like you're in control of this electric scooter. And then you have the regen brake. So just like the inputs on this are very nice, and it's very smooth riding electric scooter. Now list price on this is over $3,000. Click on the link down below in the video in the description box to see what the current price is. It has been kind of, you know, there's discounts going on now and then. And if you do click on that link down there, buy through that link. If you do decide this is the electric scooter for you, that would help support my reviews here on Juice Joyrides, and I would greatly appreciate your support. But yeah, man, over $3,000 for an electric scooter. It is not a small chunk of change, man. But if you do buy this electric scooter, I do feel like, you know, this thing is well built, and you're gonna be happy with it, man. This is the kind of electric scooter you could actually probably replace your car with. So, I mean, if you look at it that way, like, you could end up saving money technically, you know, down the road. So let's head on home, take the final range. Police are out on the horses riding tickets. Okay, better get out of here. Okay, more police out on the four-wheelers investigating what's happening up in here. And more police right here too. Oh, a little bump right there, but we got the 12-inch tires. Feeling stable at 42. Please don't pull out in front of me, Beamer. Wait, that wasn't even a Beamer. I feel way too comfortable and confident riding this thing at 40 out here. And just rolling back into the neighborhood here. Let's see where the final numbers are. So on the display here, it looks like it's showing about a little bit under half, and we did 20.38 miles in an hour and 40 minutes. Average speed was about 12.3, and pulling up the app here, it shows 42% remaining on the battery after just over 20 miles. Says we have about 15 miles remaining on this charge. Obviously, you know, you could do way better on range than that. So if you have decided this is the electric scooter you want to buy, click on that link down below the video in the description box. Buy through that link. It would help support my reviews on this channel and also get you the best price. However, if this is not the kind of electric scooter you want to buy, watch this video next. I'll catch you over there.